if you've read The Case of the Flapper Napper, did you spot the mistake with Ashley's name? At one point, somebody calls Ashley Burke, which is, of course, the name of the Olsen twins in Two of a Kind. So that was a little bit awkward. But aside from that, it's generally well written. This is the third last New Adventures of Mary Kate and Ashley books, the third last of them that I have to read. And to be honest, the Olsen and Olsen detectives were a little bit stupid because they're going to Patty's grandmother's house. And her grandmother is a famous writer who writes books that feature a cat. And obviously this cat is going to be at her house. And they decide to take a clue along. And I just thought, really, that's a little bit entitled. So it kind of annoyed me from the get-go that they were so stupid. But something happens and the cat, who was called Flapper, disappears. And everybody, apart from Mary Kate and Ashley, is blaming Clue. Did Clue have anything to do with it? Where has Flapper gone? I will say there are kind of two layers to the mystery, and I kind of like that. It gave it a little bit more substance. It meant that as soon as we thought we knew what was happening, it took a different direction. So that part of it I thought was well written. I don't think things were obvious, but there were certainly clues that made me think somebody had something to do with it. I just couldn't work out what their motive would be. And I'm not going to give myself any points because I didn't get anywhere near it, to be perfectly honest. Generally, it's well written. A couple of grammatical issues here and there. Calling Ashley Burke instead of Ashley Olsen was very awkward. It only happened once. But yeah, brownie points if you notice that. As something I often praise with these books is that when there are descriptions on the inside, it often matches whatever Mary Kate and Ashley are wearing and Clue on the front, and that's exactly what we get here. When they're getting ready to dance the Charleston, they get dressed up in 1920s attire, and Mary Kate explains what they're both wearing and what Clue's wearing, and it matches up very well with this. So that, I thought, was a nice attention to detail. Not my favourite colour. I don't love the colour scheme, but it's not too bad. There's the back if anybody's interested. And we do have the photo cards. Unfortunately, I can't show you the bit where Ashley is called Ashley Burke because it's a bit of a spoiler. Yes, we have a bigger version of the front. And I think that's from High Seas Secret, if I remember rightly. We have lots of little pictures of, I guess, Flapper, which is adorable. Short chapters, largish writing, some good explanations of the 1920s and indeed of detective-based terms as well. Things like, I think, motive at one point. So it's not the worst at all. The Ashley Burke thing just highly amused me because when I read it, I kind of did a double take and went, hang on, am I reading a Two of a Kind book or a New Adventures book? It just took me a second because it's quite late at night. I read these just before I go to sleep. And, well, I wondered if I was just half asleep, but no, it's going to amuse me for quite a while. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's pretty well written. It's an interesting enough story. The Trenchcoat twins were absolute entitled idiots for taking Clue with them. That's absolutely true. But other than that, it's a pretty good story. Keen to see what the last few are like.